We're going to get started here shortly, guys, because we have quorum.
All right, 9:19 is better, but the goal is 9:15, you guys. Come on.
We're disturbing Rachel's beauty sleep.
So we're going to get called to order at 9:19 p.m. This is Session Senate 19 on the 23rd of March, 2022. For our roll call, Isaiah, do we have enough voting members currently?
We do.
Perfect. Thank you. So we've got a pretty full agenda tonight, guys, with 4 major votes that we're going to be going on. And then also we have the oaths of office, which are going to be happening today, as well as we are transitioning our executive board to those who successfully won the executive election a few weeks prior. So we're going to get started with the executive oaths of office. And this is where I have a proposal or a recommendation to Senate, where due to the amount of voting items that we have, I am wondering if we should switch all of the oaths of office that we currently have available into a single oath of office. I'm going to take an informal vote on yay, we should just squash all the oaths of office together, or if we should just continue through each one individually. Does anyone have any immediate questions that we can answer within about a minute or so? And Isaiah, please let me know if someone's raising their hand in the Zoom. Thank you. Okay, seems like we don't have any questions. Can I have an informal count of yay? I would like to squash all of the oaths of office together. Just raise your hand if you'd like to do that. And then also raise your hand virtually as well. How many do we have online, Isaiah?
1.
Yeah, chair is not in doubt. We're just going to squash all of them together then. Okay, so you want to take care of them?
Yeah, cool. All right. The last duty of an outgoing president is to swear in the new exec board. So all members of the new exec board, please stand. Yes, you do have to stand. All right. Repeat after me. I, your name goes here.
I
Do hereby affirm that I shall justly support.
hereby affirm that I will justly support
And defend the Constitution and bylaws.
And defend the
Constitution and bylaws
Of the Student Government Association.
of the Student Government Association
Of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of
of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations.
I
vow to fulfill my obligations
To my fellow students.
to my fellow students
And my duties as office goes here.
and my duties as executive vice president
To the best of my ability.
to the best
of my ability.
Congrats to the new exec board.
Well, nothing really changes out here, folks, because it's me again. So, did you just boo me, Derek? Oh, I heard boo. I was very hurt. Anyways, we're going to be going on to our next item of today, which is a student organization proposal. GGO at IIT. Kajol, I believe you are virtually attending right now.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
So usually we start out with about like a 5-minute summary of what your student organization is, and then we'll move on to questioning. Do you have a presentation you would like to share with us?
Yep. Should I share?
Yes, give me a second. You should be able to share now.
Okay.
Chloe, hold on a second. Chloe, you have something? Never mind. Go ahead, you can start sharing.
Okay.
Oh, I think you should, wait, no, never mind, sorry.
Well, we get sworn in.
Yeah, she said she's at her house.
Okay.
You can share, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Kajol Shah, and I'm a volunteer at GGO. So GGO is Gateway to the Great Outdoors, and today we are putting forward a proposal to establish a GGO club at IIT. So the purpose of GGO is to provide STEAM education to low-income students at CPS schools. So we provide them environmental education as well as education related to science and technology. So currently, I, along with a few IIT students, are mentoring a class of students at Drake Elementary School. So the purpose of establishing a club at IIT is that we will be able to provide more mentors to Drake Elementary School in the upcoming years. Also, we will be able to like provide the same service to some other CPS schools as well in the neighborhood. So, establishing a club at IIT is not only beneficial to the CPS school students, but as it will be beneficial to IIT students as well. They will be able to foster leadership experience. Um, they will be able to learn about how to manage students, or um, they will be able to build a sense of commitment. Also, it offers a connection to the community in which IIT resides. So, if we establish a club at IIT, we will be able to communicate well with the uh, CPS teachers and the mentors. Also, we will be able to take weekly sessions for the members as well to teach them about the basic STEM things so that they can do the same thing to the mentors, to the CPS students. So, in GGO, we provide weekly sessions. We provide weekly classroom sessions, and there's a monthly session as well where we take them in for outdoor trips, and also there are two yearly overnight camping trips as well. So uh, the students at these schools, they are not able to explore such places. So our purpose is to let them be aware about the environment around them. Also, to teach them new things, some innovative things. So every week we have sessions, and we are doing some science experiments, or we are teaching them about some regions around the world, like about biomes. So okay, so the benefits to the community. So uh, when we provide such mentorships, the teachers, like we support the teachers as well, and it builds a sense of community between IIT and the other CPS schools. Okay, so just as I explained earlier, the activities which we will be doing, which we are doing, are weekly classroom sessions, then monthly nature field trips, semester camping trips, we will be holding weekly club meetings for the mentors, and social events throughout the semester. So the executive board will consist of the president. Um, so uh, the requirement is that the president should have already done a semester with GGO, and treasurer. Then vice president for operations and vice president for programming. Then special projects chair person for the social media things. Then there will be team leads so that all the sessions go smoothly. And there will be a fundraising chairperson, a PR chairperson, a social chairperson, and recruitment chairperson. So, so currently we don't have an advisor. So we will be looking for an advisor as well if we are able to establish a club at IIT. And our main goal is to recruit more members and register as a student organization. So yeah, this was all.
Gotcha. Thank you. So now we're going to move into our usual 5-minute discussion period, or Q&A period, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask? We're going to start with a normal 5-minute period starting now. Nova.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I just have one simple question. Are there any other chapters of GGO in Chicago? And if so, would you guys be cooperating with them?
We have members in other schools as well. There are volunteers who are mentoring in some other schools as well in Chicago.
Thank you. Okay. Got it.
Like from some other schools or universities like UIC.
Gotcha. Thank you. Alejandro?
Yes, I was wondering, especially since I noticed in the proposal that you guys mentioned that you want to collaborate with specific schools such as Drake Elementary, and I was wondering if efforts have already been made to reach out to whatever other schools or faculty they may want to collaborate with.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
I was asking if efforts have already been made to reach out to schools that you're looking to collaborate with in this organization, whether or not you already got in touch with them.
So currently we are focusing on Drake Elementary School, but if we are able to get more members to register with us, we will be going for some other CPA schools as well, like the members at IIT. Did I answer your question? Actually, it was not very clear.
Alejandro's question was have you made efforts already to contact the schools which you are planning on collaborating with, such as Drake Elementary School?
Yeah, for Drake Elementary School, we are already providing mentorship. Like I started with GGO in fall 2021. So I've been with them for a semester. I've been providing mentorship to the students, and even in this semester, I've continued the same thing. Along with me, there are some other 5 to 6 students from IIT who are providing mentorship at Drake.
Cool. Thank you. Are there any other questions online as well? Nova.
Make a motion to move into debate.
All right, we have a motion to move into debate. Do I have a second? Gotcha. Is it Kagul or Kajol?
It's Kajol.
Kagul. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. So we're going to move into our discussion period. You'll be moved into a waiting room temporarily. After this point, after the discussion is over, the Senate's going to vote on your club. And the meeting, the voting results will be announced at the end of the meeting, but you don't have to attend those. I will submit and forward your voting results tomorrow morning as well. So Isaiah, would you mind moving one, please?
Thank you so much, everyone.
You want me to take care of it? Okay, she's in. All right. Do I have any comments or concerns?
Not live streaming, I don't think. The meeting not recorded.
It's not live streaming?
I don't think it says it. It says, right?
YouTube's live there. I got a YouTube notification.
Oh.
It's not live streaming.
Yeah. I believe you might be getting confused because I am hiding the meeting controls with it. Thank you for watching out for me, though. I appreciate it. Do we have any points of discussion with this particular club? Derek.
I think they are a really interesting organization that I think will be a benefit to students. One concern that I heard earlier this week potentially was that, we've been sitting here talking about, are we giving money to people that aren't IIT students or for IIT students? But I do think that this directly goes to benefit IIT students as we are providing opportunities for people to learn how to teach and to learn how to lead and organize and things like that. So I think this organization would be really good and provide, it's different than what we have on campus already. So
Thank you. Naeem.
I think this is an amazing opportunity in addition to what Senator Ray stated previously. This also gives an IIT student because it ushers in or helps to usher in a new generation of IIT students. Students who may not have been previously exposed to sort of people here or community or any of the majors or anything now have a new perspective ideally from this program that could potentially get them admitted.
Thank you. Do I have any other points of discussion? Nova?
I'd like to move the previous question.
I have a motion to move the previous question. Do I have a second? Gotcha. So we're now going to be releasing the voting form. Isaiah, you got that? Okay. I can move perfection. Yeah.
No, that's.
Yes, you can.
This is the wrong form.
This is the wrong
Timeline.
Almost voted on the.
So anyways, pending that small kerfuffle, the voting form will be going out soon. We're now going to be moving on to the open letter that, VP of Communications now, Elio, has supported and is sending out. Elio, would you like to come up there?
Unfortunately, my laptop is going to die if I go up there, but I'll stay right here and I'll stand up so everybody can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so this is simply an open letter requesting that we send an open letter to the university requesting that we get tests for, I guess, by next week, if not in 2 weeks from now, because this technically should have been sent out before we left for spring break, but it wasn't, because that's my fault. So I'm basically asking the university to require students to test negative because people are concerned that we might experience a little spike because we went on vacation, we were exposed to other people, and germs get around very easily there, especially when you're cramped inside of a plane with a bunch of people or inside of a train with a bunch of people, and there's an old lady talking right in front of you very, very poorly. So it's basically just asking for COVID tests. It's very simple. And it's also asking that the university at least help provide those tests as well. So you have it.
All right. As usual, we're going to go into 5-minute Q&A. Nova.
So just on that last point that you mentioned, is the university not currently providing free testing for students? I thought it's my understanding that they were. That could have changed them.
To my understanding, they're not, though I do know that they're providing resources and trying to find the tests, which, as we all probably have experienced, is not that great. So yeah, but that may have changed prior to this.
This isn't so much as a question, just like letting people know. School is offering free testing. You can get it in MSV, the fishbowl. I think it's like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then you also can order free tests from the federal government. You can get 4 free ones per address. So I personally had a COVID scare and I ordered them and I got them for free in like a day. So you can do that too.
I love that.
We don't have addresses here, so that doesn't
Your
work.
PO box works. I used mine.
Yeah, I got mine.
It doesn't work in apartment buildings where even if you do that, like.
I got it.
I was able to somehow make it work. I would say try again. Perhaps they might have updated it because we
Maybe I
talked
was
to
the
the
one person that got it. I don't know.
PSAC talked to the president and administration about that.
Eric.
So we know that the university has had difficulty implementing a testing requirement whenever we've come back from any sort of extended break. Do you believe that the university, if it were to implement this, set a 2-week deadline from today or whatever, that they would receive a statistically significant number of tests in response?
I don't think they'll receive every student, but I think they will be able to receive a significant number because as we came back in January, while we didn't test every student, we did at least get about 2,000 or 3,000 tests, which I think is a sizable number, enough to sort of decide, certain things. So.
Do we have any other questions? Hannah.
So I was a student. I didn't know that there were free COVID tests in MSV. Is there a way to make it more like freely advertised? And also, would they be available to commuter students?
So we had an RHA meeting about this. I'm going to share this. Unfortunately, my sphere of influence only extends to residents, but apparently most of them don't know either. So I'm going to do a better job of communicating that. But we were told that if you are a commuter, if you don't have like access, you should be able to like go to the office. They'll be able to let you in.
Okay.
During those hours when the office should be open, and they should be able to let you in.
I'll work with you on that.
Thank you.
I'd like to move to go into discussion.
Do I have a second? Gotcha. We've got second. We're going to be moving into our discussion period. Does anyone have any major points?
Do I step out?
No. Online either? And if not, do I have a motion to approve or move the previous question? Do I have a second? Gotcha. Isaiah, you can go ahead and release the voting form. Perfect. With that, we're going to be moving on to our third agenda item or voting agenda item for today. Derek, do you want to come up here and summarize what's going on with this?
Sure. Don't. Okay. So yeah, you guys probably saw this come through on the agenda. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you haven't picked up on what's going on, there was a judicial board case brought against SGA when we passed the resolution in support of Ukraine by a former SGA member. Of course, through this whole process, it's been kind of controversial. We've had lots of intense conversations surrounding this. With this particular case, it aimed to do a couple of different things. One, it wanted to take away the resolution, i.e. dismantling the committee, as well as preventing SGA from requesting funds to donate to any humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. We've spoken with the university. The university said even if finance board were to pass this hypothetical budget, they would not in any circumstance forward this money on. So speaking with the former SGA member, we came to a settlement agreement, which is what is presented in that treaty. It basically outlines that the committee gets to continue standing and operating and continue in its current capacity. It just will not request any money to directly go to any humanitarian efforts in Ukraine or otherwise. It's pretty easy. Basically, if we agree to this, the case is dropped. There's no wrongdoing on any part. You're free to look at the text or ask any questions if you have any, but I think this is the best agreement that we can do. Otherwise, we'll go through a whole judicial board case that may end up dismantling the committee in its entirety. which we really hope does not happen. I personally hope it doesn't happen. So I would really like to see this treaty passed, as it does keep the committee intact, and it drops all cases, pending charges, whatever else from this individual as well. So does anybody have any questions for me?
Moving on to our standard 5-minute questioning period. Wyatt.
Why does the Senate have to approve this treaty?
Because I do not feel comfortable making agreements on behalf of the Senate.
Nova.
This is technically a point of information. It's also the gay board case is called Ryan Manthe v. SGA. So I think that's also a big reason why we want to get SGA to sign it.
Yes. Yeah, we're trying to settle this case so then he drops pretty much everything, and we don't actually have to do the hearing. We'll just have pizza tomorrow instead.
Pizza party.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Online?
Discussion.
Second. Gotcha. So, as our usual, do we have any points of discussion? Nova.
I do. So first off, before I get into what I'm going to say, I would just like to state that I will not be adding any further to this discussion, even if someone were to ask me a question. So just note that. That being said, I would like to state that I do condemn this treaty and the actions taken by some members of this institution. I'm frankly disappointed that when we were given the chance to make truly impactful change for students, both here and people abroad, that the overwhelming majority of the student body did agree with, that we got so caught up in procedural problems that we failed to get very little done. That being said, again, after extensive discussion with many of the parties involved, I've found a general consensus that both parties are thoroughly exhausted with the whole issue. Because of this, I will be voting abstain on this treaty. To end my points, I would like to read an email interaction between former President Barber and the member of the Ukrainian Student Community provided graciously to me by Chief Justice Roymack. Ben Barber opens up with, "Hello, student. Were you and the other students still interested in presenting about the war in Ukraine this week in reference to the presentation we had previously?" To which the student replied, "Good evening. I don't think any of us want to present, as you are planning on disbanding the committee, and in the way that it will just be a waste of our and your time. We are thinking we should delegate our time and strength toward the volunteering that will for sure help our country." Then forwards this email to another member of SGA, replying, "Harm having the J board procedure is actively doing. The Ukrainian students do not want to present at Senate so long as we are undoing the committee as an option. They no longer trust us, and it seems evident that they indeed do not." Thank you.
Do you have any other points of discussion? Derek.
I do appreciate the concerns brought up by Senator Ammerman. I do believe this is the best possible deal that we can make at this particular time. I am disappointed that we weren't able to do more to help our fellow Ukrainian students at this current time, but I do believe that this treaty, again, agreed by the reporting party or the petitioner, as they're so aptly referred to. Yeah, I think this is the best agreement that we could possibly do. It keeps the committee intact. It allows the committee to continue to operate. It can set up fundraising efforts. I do fear that if anybody votes no on this, we're basically at the will of what judicial board may decide, which, if they decide that it was passed incorrectly or, it's to be disbanded, whatever else, then that's something that we have to live with. But if you all sign on to this, Ryan's already agreed to these terms, so it would drop the case entirely, and we can actually continue with committee operations. So I would very much encourage a vote of yes on this treaty.
Do I have any other perspectives? Online? Do I have a motion to move the previous question?
So moved.
Thank you. Isaiah, you can go ahead and release the voting form. Okay. Voting form's been released? All right, perfect. With that, we're going to be moving on to our next agenda item. And actually, he left, didn't he? Perfect. You want to present it?
Yeah, he already reached out to me to present it.
All right. Thank you. I was unaware of that. So go ahead, standard 5 minutes.
Sure. So this is pretty simple. Currently, right now, and actually I will go to the next slide. We have both our Senate and our executive elections in spring. As we have already gone through the executive elections, we already know that, and we'll be very quickly moving into the Senate elections. And I think in discussion with the constitutional reform work group, we all agreed that these elections felt extremely compressed and went by just far too quickly. Perhaps an evidence of this through very little campaigning time for the executive board nominees was engagement in this year's exec election went down 40% compared to previous years. So the solution is pretty simple. It's to go back to the ways of yesteryear. The changes in the current election timeline are very recent. I think they were done in response to the pandemic. So the solution is pretty simple. It's just to move the Senate elections to fall while keeping the exec elections fairly similar to how they are. This would allow each election to get a full 2.5 months of progress rather than the 1 to 1.5 months, most of which was spent getting the nominees and then getting them all confirmed by the election committee and such. We would have a lot more time to be able to actually campaign and have debates, and Tech News would actually have time to publish the columns before the election. Something to note, which I added at the bottom, is that due to how the bylaws and the Constitution are set up, we cannot change the how the elections are held very easily. So instead, this amendment just seeks to set this in place till after this current election cycle. And I believe that is all I have.
All right. Thank you. So as usual, 5-minute questioning period. Do I have anyone? Chris.
Yeah, I was wondering, so where are we in the election cycle right now? So like, when would this like go into place then?
I will answer that, but I also would like to open to the election committee commissioner if he so wishes to respond. Right now, we are just before the Senate elections, if I'm correct.
I believe that's correct.
Anymore. But from what I can tell, this will we will have an election, a Senate election taking place. I think at this point the committee is already supposed to be established, and I haven't heard that it is. That's we're has to figure out. But it would have us run another election again in April or in October. So about 6 months from now. That's something to consider for any new senators. They're going to hold their term all summer and part of fall.
Isaiah, you have a point for this?
Yeah, and it'll be a question, but kind of in a similar vein to that. And I know you briefly mentioned it, but I was just distracted with running everything that
Sure.
Is there an exact reason why we have to do double elections? It just seems like we're already kind of pressed for time to do a spring election, and I feel like it'd just be better if we just did a fall election.
I'll go ahead and say, and then yeah, I'll let the former commissioner speak. The essential reason is that the way the Constitution and bylaws are currently set up is it's really hard to change that in the middle of an election cycle.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact terminology, but it's something along the lines of it requires a 3/4 vote or like a really, really high margin to edit the election timeline. 2/3.
Well, I'm just still confused then. If we're changing the next election cycle, why don't we change it such that this next election cycle combines them? Like, why did you choose 2 separate elections instead of 1 big election?
I believe the standing ethos behind that was that it was simpler. We had already given out, we passed out the timeline stuff that basically says, yes, we are having election stuff, and a lot of students are expecting the Senate elections to come during this semester. I know certainly when I've been talking to people.
But the next election, since it doesn't change this election, why didn't you write it such that the next election is merged?
With this one?
So the next,
You're gonna have a year and a half long.
Yeah.
doesn't this already create that by?
No, this would create a shorter term in which there will be elections will again happen at the middle of October. I'm correct.
But then there will be a spring election following that.
There will be a spring executive election following that, but it will then permanently, after this election, the Senate election, all Senate elections will be in October from then on.
Okay.
Yeah, so there won't be another spring Senate election, and we have like elections every half year or something.
Okay.
It'll still be here.
Okay, so if I'm understanding, so essentially, Senate elections will continue to occur this semester, and then they're going to occur again next semester in October.
Yeah, and then from then on, they will be yearly in October.
6-month term during the summer.
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Online? Naeem.
Okay, well, I'm guessing it's an 18-month term for Sanders would not be ideal in that situation of avoiding.
The compromise is that if we did do that, it would give next year's students, and especially first years, no voice in elections, and that's something we don't think follows the ethos of SGA Senate. So yes, that is correct.
Do I have a motion to move to discussion or any other questions? Do I have a second? Gotcha. Thank you. All right. So do we have any points of discussion on this particular piece? Online? Derek.
I was more of just a point of information to confirm the executive board, the previous executive board had not taken any action to set up the Senate election for this cycle.
I've not heard of anything. No.
Okay, because reading through it did say that was supposed to be established. The committee was supposed to start being established 3 weeks before the halfway mark of the spring semester. Yeah.
All right.
So in any case, yes, maybe the new executive board. That's your problem.
I guess in response to that, that is a chief example of the problems of having these two elections so close to each other. And that's, I would like to further urge members to negotiate on this.
Are there any other points of discussion? Or do I have a motion to move to previous question?
Question period.
Or discussion? All right.
Previous question.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Gotcha. You can go ahead and release the voting form, Isaiah. And with that, that's released. Yes. Yes, we are.
Your spring break is spicy.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Yes. After that, we're going to be moving into executive reports. So first off, we have VP of Communications, Elio.
Okay, so entering into my office, I want to go at this like I go my architecture projects, which is full steam ahead. So basically, I want to reestablish the office itself because, as I've heard from Benjamin, former President Benjamin Barber, essentially the committee sort of just fell apart after Shahan quit. So I essentially want to reestablish it and restart things. So that's the first point. Second point is TikTok. TikTok is the main way to see stuff on campus, as I've seen across campus. And we don't have one.
Yeah.
SGA doesn't
Isaiah
have
dancing on TikTok.
Can we get a Talon thirst trap?
Yes.
Oh, no, no.
Yes.
No. So Isaiah dancing, that actually ties into the next thing that I'm going to talk about, which is promotional videos, which is the main reason for the TikTok. We really need to start doing promotional videos for SGA. We need to start posting videos about like, oh, hey, this week's meeting is going to have this, this, and that. And certain things like that, because we don't have that much of a social media presence. In fact, I wasn't even aware that SGA had a Facebook account. Well, technically it's ITSC, but we don't have a social media presence that's that big. I mean, heck, the Instagram account isn't that active. So we need to start getting that rolling again. We need to start getting recognized by the students, because like Senator Ammerman pointed out, 40% less students voted this year. And as it is, it's already a very low number. And then one thing I do want to work on is trying to acquire some screen time on the MTCC screens, trying to advertise certain announcements from SGA or when the meetings are, because I never see anything about SGA on those screens, and I kind of want to see some stuff on there. So yes, I will start talking to Rachel about that because she's in charge. So yeah.
I do have a point of information for you. One previous form of advertisement that SGA used to do was interviews on WIIT, the radio channel that we have.
I see.
So that might also be another avenue you might want to explore.
That might work out. Yes, I might explore that. But for now, videos, promotional videos that after this next election cycle, introduce the new senators that come into SGA, introducing the new exec board that's in SGA, introducing basically all the new people that are in SGA, or maybe just the same people. Just trying to get out there, making better communication between SGA and tech news. Basically I want to go at this full steam ahead and want to start getting a few projects going quick. So yeah.
Are there any questions for VP Comms? One? Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're moving on to student life. This from Samir.
Oh, yeah. Need a students meeting with Dean Sets. It's going to happen on Thursday, April 7th during lunch hour. Yeah. Make me proud.
Yes. First off, thank you, Samir. I'll just start off with some news. Food Advisory Board, and I'll just introduce this real quick because I know there's probably some people who don't know what that is. It is a semi-weekly work group that the Student Life Committee has the honor of attending with Chartwell, who runs all of the food stuff on campus. So we just had our meeting yesterday. And the two big things I would like to highlight to SGA and the student body is graduation menus. They are planned to be released next week. So be on the lookout for that. It'll probably show up in our emails. And then also Chartwell is looking for clubs to partner with on Stop Food Waste Day. One of my goals as VP Student Life is to increase SGA and club interactions with Chartwell. And I think this would be a great example. They're actually the ones that approached us to ask about this. So if you know anyone, if you're part of an exec board of any clubs, do reach out. If you can come to me and give you their emails. And then also, in particular, if you're part of any like clean energy or green oriented groups, that would probably be especially good to collaborate with. So yeah, just reach out to me on Slack or Instagram or anything, and I will be glad to forward you the proper resources.
You might want to reach out to Food Recovery Network. They're one of the newer orgs that's basically, I think, from what I remember, I think that they actually get some of like the leftover baked goods from Global Grounds and distribute them.
I remember approving that, so.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that.
You guys, Chartwell's already has their information. I already gave it to them. Them and U Farm and Engineers for Sustainable World. So I gave them their information as well. So sorry.
Do you think CCL might be interested?
Oh, yeah.
For sure, for sure.
And I guess I could say one more thing because Rachel spoke and that reminded me. I will also be immediately resuming communications with the various offices that the previous VP of Student Life was in contact with, as well as hopefully expanding communications to stuff like student health and wellness, so we can get more news about that. I'm hoping to be in constant communication with the VP of Communications here to also help get a lot of student issues out into the student body. So now I think that is it.
Perfect. All right.
He says hi, by the way. I know.
Let me go to your minutes where they were. All right. Yes. Do you have a question?
No.
Gotcha. So now it's on to me. So currently I'm going to be looking for the next executive assistant because I was previously the executive assistant and boy, we need it. So if you know anyone you think might be interested in being the executive assistant for SGA, please have them reach out to me through either email, Slack, Discord, whatever. I have a lot of communication paths. And then also, I'm probably going to be reaching out to both the VPs and also the senators to make sure everyone has a project which they are assigned to within about the next week or so. Other than that, Rachel, you've got something?
Yes, I do. Oh, my picture didn't make it. Okay, but it's okay. It wasn't that cute. Okay, so Union Board Spring Formal is April 15th from 8 to 10. It is at the Radisson Blue Aqua Hotel. If you have a computer in front of you, look that up right now. It is one of the nicest hotels in Chicago. You guys are very lucky. Patrick actually paid for this before the pandemic. I have the purse strings a little tighter now. But this is going to be a really, really awesome formal. It is going to be a one-of-a-kind formal. So I would say get your tickets and go. Tickets are going to be $25. If you want to bring an external guest, your partner from another school or something, they're going to be $35. It will be cash bar, but it's going to be an incredible buffet. I'm actually meeting with the chef, or I'm meeting with the guy to talk to the chef tomorrow. It's going to be really awesome. The UB members, myself and Kaylin, went on a tour last week of the space on Friday, and it's going to be rad. It's not your formal is going to be nicer than my wedding, unfortunately for me. Oh, my husband just goes, hey. Okay. Sexual Assault Awareness Month is next month, so April, in just 8 days, excuse me. The Title IX Office of Campus Life and Rec Sports are coming together to put together kind of an awesome calendar of events. I'm also working with a shelter that I have a personal connection to because I, used to run a charity event before the pandemic and gave to the shelter. So we're looking to actually bring them in too, which is really exciting. So our efforts will go somewhere. So we'll have Denim Day again. We will have a Take Back the Night Vigil. I'm trying to see if we can use candles or if we've used pretend candles. I think either will be pretty powerful. We're going to have self-care events. We're going to have like events, that help people who've experienced trauma relax with yoga or meditation. So get very excited. I think this is a great month and a great way to support fellow students as well. The IIT Tower space. If you did not know, your last SGA has been working very, very hard to open a space for all of the students who have orgs, but maybe not a space, to have a space. And we have secured a space. It is the IIT Tower space in the basement. We're going to call it Elevate Underground because it's in a basement, but it's kind of underground because it's your space. We're having a soft opening on Friday. If you are interested in coming, it's going to be from 1 to 3. Calling it Chips and Chat. Come eat some chips and chat with us. We're moving some furniture there on Thursday. We're going to, kind of try to shape it up. I did put in all of these exciting things to put like new wall clings on the wall to make it look a lot cooler down there. So that's not going to be ready yet, but that is going to be coming. So come and kind of see the space. This is going to be, I think, a really, really cool, awesome thing that is going to be another space that you guys are going to be able to utilize on campus. That will be your space. And I'm also hiring students to work down there. I am currently looking mostly for grad students, but I am going to open it to undergrads as well. But just with, you know, dangerous things being down there, I want to make sure that we've got some grad oversight as well, though I know that you guys are all very smart and would not cut off your finger if you chose to do that. Hopefully not. And then Career Services has 2 events coming up. One is how to achieve career and life success. That's going to be an awesome event on Friday. And then we have bridge recruiting again next week. So please make sure if you are looking for a job, if you are looking for an internship, if you just want to practice networking, which honestly I think is the best thing, bring your resume and start kind of going to those events. Those have been super successful. We've seen lots of people get jobs from those bridge recruiting events. They're like micro fairs, if you will, mini fairs. All right, that's all I've got. So excited to see you guys at all of these events coming up.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Do we have any questions for her? Seeing none, we're going to move on to senator reports. Do we have any senator reports for this particular week? Derek?
Yes. So one thing that's been kind of going on with like graduation stuff, nobody that's walking at graduation has heard how many tickets they're getting. And that's been one issue that a lot of people have been trying to talk about, because supposedly the deadline for people to submit if they're walking or not was like late February, early March, somewhere in that neighborhood. And people have to start planning their trips if they're going to be coming to Chicago to see this. And maybe this is something SGA can look into. Why is it taking so long?
All right, gotcha. That's definitely something that the exec board and probably the academic affairs chair can hopefully address.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Do we have any other senator reports? Naeem?
The next RHA meeting will be this Monday. So at normal time, it'll be virtual, and we might be going back to all virtual now. You know, we did have our one in-person event. Right now, we're really focusing on a lot of internal restructuring. So we're going to be taking another look at the executive board, bringing on potentially new members, anyone who does not participate in the executive board, we're going to phase out, and really onboard our floor representatives into actual committees similar to how they are in SGA that will focus on different aspects of residence life, as well as improving communication with VP student.
All right. Are there any other reports that we got online as well? All right, seeing none, we can move on to our classic open floor. Nova.
Rachel, are you still here?
I am.
Awesome. I'm not sure how many other new exec board members have this problem, but since you're here, I thought I'd just shout it out. Some of us have the keys to the old office still and not the new one. So should we see you at some point about changing that?
Yes, because no one was supposed to have old office keys. So please come see me tomorrow in the afternoon or anytime on Friday, and I will trade keys with you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Are there any other issues for open floor? Samir.
Shameless work promotion. In addition to this onslaught of events on Friday during lunch, there's going to be a cleanup event at the youth farm. So if you want some excuse to eat snacks and get some sweat on your brow, please come to me.
This is going to be a busy day, it seems. Isaiah?
Yeah, my remarks, for one thing, I wasn't aware that we were taking both office before, or like at the very start of the meeting, which I didn't have anything on my slide. But I did just want to briefly mention to those on the exec board, to look out for emails just so that we can start really getting our board meeting schedule, just kind of getting the ball rolling. So all the VPs, I'm planning on hosting at least once-a-month meetings, so kind of similar to Joel's plan, just to really see what's going on with all the committees, everyone having projects. And then lastly, that next week, although I have 2 midterms, probably next week, I'll go into more depth about some ideas that I had for SGA. I'll do it during my second reports. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Cool. Is there anything else? Possibly online? Seeing none, do I have a motion for adjournment? Do I have a second? Perfect. We are officially adjourned at some odd time.
Wait,
It's less than an hour.
Wow, wow, that was
Here,
fast
like
as all.
5 minutes under an hour, that is.
The motion.
I think we all vote yes.
Informal vote.
Anyone who votes
We'll
no
go for an
can,
informal vote. Fine, Derek.
anyone who votes no can vote.
Do I have anyone who says no? Do I have, who says yes? Okay, the chair is not in doubt, Nick.
No, he's not a senator. Everyone just keeps voting no.
He's not a voting member.
What if everyone just kept voting no? Would you have to sit here forever?
Also, I